What's up, fight fans? And thank you for tuning in to another edition of Round One Sports TV. I'm your host, Edwin, and we're going to be breaking down some of the top biggest stories going around in boxing and as well some of the fights. And perhaps later trying getting into a video. Hold up. Well, I see that everything's coming in loud and clear. So I'm gonna let the music rock out here for a second, let a couple people join us, and then we're gonna get this show started. Okay? Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. I'll be right with you. What's up, fight fans? And let's get it popping here. Well, in some big news in boxing right now, something pretty unique in its own right happened just the other day. Okay. And I just came across this story. I saw an image of a young Japanese man holding up like four WBO titles. And I was like, wow, like everybody's bringing their belts, to their fights and stuff. That's what I assume because sometimes when you see the guys bring all their belts in, that's what you think they're doing. It was in Japanese, the headline, so I didn't understand it at the time. But the gentleman, Takon, I'm gonna mess up his name. Tan Ka Jesus, man, I gotta get these guys' names better. But with respect, the young Japanese superstar did something impressive by successfully winning a WBO title in four weight divisions. Four weight divisions. He successfully those all four of those WBO titles. What he was holding them for, was for to show you every division he moved up. So he's a champion in four weight divisions, and he successfully won this belt, the WBO, all in four separate weight divisions. Now that's pretty good. He utilized the WBO structures and their rules to move out throughout the divisions. You see, and as you can see, you can utilize that to fight the champion above. That's him. That's him. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you were here right now, my man. Bro, no matter how many times I hear the name just before I'm going to go on, it's like I go on and I get starstruck and the name just leaves my head, you know? But I won't let that discourage me because you guys know that I have good intentions, and I'm bringing this there. Thank you for putting his name. Um, I believe there was another A there, but still. So that being said, Naoya Inoue, in fact, only has the WBO in two divisions, I believe it is. It's in two divisions, right? Because the first title he won was a WBC at the 108. And it was I believe it was another WBC or no, 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 no. I believe it was a WBA, but he didn't have the WBO at that time. He came in contact with his first WBO title at 115. So, and then at one, no, was it? Wrong. Wrong. He came into his first contact of the WBO title at 118. He utilized that to fight Stephen Kubo Fulton at 122. So then he got that one too. So he has a WBO title at 122 and at 118. This gentleman right here, he did it all the way from the 108 division all the way up. He successfully got a WBO title, and I think that's pretty impressive. I think that's pretty impressive. So, so in bigger news, Saul Canelo Alvarez has reported that he has parted ways with the P.B.C. And this is true, in fact. Okay, he had two more fights on his contract. And the P.B.C. As a promotional company, they have to provide you the big fights and the fights you want, right? Okay. So I guess the Charlo and the P.B.C. and Saul Canelo Alvarez's team couldn't come to an agreement. Too much back and forth. And if Charlo, in his condition, is trying to squeeze every dime out of this fight, in doing so, he lost the fight, I guess. Or maybe he just wasn't ready. Don't know. But whichever way, that turned Saul Canelo Alvarez off, and he decided to part ways with the P.B.C. Being the fact that he just, he had a long-term relationship with Golden Boy promotion, and him and Golden Boy, they've held a lot of fights together, right? So, and Ed Hearns, okay, so he's been everywhere. And that's how Canelo Alvarez has been with every promotional company there is to get all these big fights. And sometimes in this day in boxing, when some of the boxers are trying to tell you, you don't need these promotional company, Tank. Why don't you go off on yourself? Look what Devin Haney's doing. Look what all these other people. You don't need these. But ironically, the biggest paying fighter in the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez, continues to have promotional companies, top promotional companies. See, it's not like he's leaving some rinky dink. Saul Canelo Alvarez is going with the top dogs. And why is that? Because your promotional company takes care of a lot of these things. And you're going to make that money regardless. And everybody stands to make money there. This way, you don't have to put up any of your money. You're just like receiving it. And you're paying your sanctioning fees and your corner and all that. That's typical, though. That's going to come out regardless. It's not like if you did it by yourself, you wouldn't pay that. So it goes to show you in this game, you need to be with people that can get you these fights. Okay. So what's Saul Canelo Alvarez's next move from here? Does he go back with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn? Does he go with Oscar De La Hoya? Right? What is he gonna do? Now, Eddie Hearns is slick because Eddie Hearns just got um Berlanga and to come out and say, yeah, I want Saul Canelo Alvarez. He hyped that man up for that. See, I don't think Ed Hearn thinks that Berlanga can actually beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. I don't think that's what's going on here. I think it's the business, getting the fight itself. Ed Hearns is a boxing promoter. His job is to promote fights and the biggest fights. And anything attached to the name of Saul Canelo Alvarez can become big at any time. So, long as he has his fighter, then Ed Hearns will do his job. He'll jump through hoops of fire and to sell you the fight. Okay. Then there were talks of Berlanga, right, actually fighting Munguia. And that they two fight, right, in May to fight Saul in September. Now, Saul is scheduled to want to fight in May 4th, and they all know that. The gimmick would be, yo, Saul, don't fight this May. Wait for these two to fight. And then the winner out of that, it'll even be a mega fight after that. That's what Ed Hearn is trying to sell the fight to, right? Okay. But as you can see, Berlanga, after his fight, when Ed Hearn was right there, when they asked Berlanga, they said, yo, would you entertain a fight between you and Munguia? And he said no. He said, nah, just Saul Canelo Alvarez. That's it. Listen, fight fans, do I believe that Berlanga can beat Mongia? No. I think Mongia will wipe down Berlanga, and he'll beat him within 7 rounds. Whatever happens, I think Mongia will get him out of there and set between early, from 7 and down. Yeah, I believe that. So why do I think that Berlanga stands a chance against Saul Canelo Alvarez? Saul Canelo Alvarez might be seeing an opportunity, and probably the P.B.C. are probably offering him the harder fights. The only 2 fights probably they're really trying to offer him maybe was bluff the Charlo twin fight and try to get that David Benavidez fight. But I, Saul Canelo Alvarez didn't like what they were doing or the type of business, and he decided to part ways for whatever reason was going on behind the scenes. I mean, Saul Canelo Alvarez has multiple emotional companies. He has been around the block. He knows what a lot of them have to offer. Where else is he going? How dissatisfied would you have to be to leave at that point? I'm pretty sure something could have been worked out. P.B.C. got money. He didn't go with them and left Golden Boy because of the fact that they didn't have money. Yeah, they have the money to put these fights together. I don't know what's going on, but he's dissatisfied, so show must go on, I guess, right? Hmm, it's crazy. Well, in other news, right? You have some big fights coming up, and there's a lot of things floating around in social media and Tank Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin. That's official. They're saying June. I'm hearing June 8th, in fact, right? But don't hold me on that. I'm hearing that, but I, uh, so now you have to have a storyline, right? To sell the fight. Why Tank Davis and Frank Martin should have bad blood and why they should be fighting each other, right? Okay. So you got to look for something. This is what they came up with. Okay. So far, this is what they came up with. Frank the Ghost Martin was sparring one day against some guy, and it was a 6 round scheduled sparring match. And Frank Martin knocks the guy out in 4 rounds. This is what they're saying. Okay. Apparently, this guy he knocked out happened to be friends with Tank Davis. I guess the next day in there in the Mayweather gym, Javante Tank Davis came in and said, "Why don't you try that on me?" Right? And Frank the Ghost Martin didn't have, I guess, no equipment. Look, they really built this scenario up somehow just to get Floyd's name in it, right? Then Floyd comes to the rescue and he has gear. No, lo and behold, you can use my gear. Not to mention you're in a boxing gym and there's probably lockers filled with gear that is there for the gym. Never mind any of that. We need Floyd's gear, of course, because it's Floyd Mayweather, of course. Use his jockstrap, right? Okay. So then allegedly they both go inside of the ring and Tank Davis and Frank Martin go at it, right? Now, mysteriously enough, this has never been mentioned on any YouTube channel anywhere ever. The minute that they got a fight scheduled, all of a sudden there's footage or they were there that these guys actually sparred. Okay. Then they're saying that Tank Davis, Frank, somehow, some way, he actually got the better of the two in the sparring session. So that's why Tank wants his get back because he's gonna revenge his boy that got knocked out that led to his getting his ass whooped because basically that's what they're saying, right? So now that you see what I'm saying, but look, man, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I find it comical that just leading into a fight, there's always something. Wait a minute. Keyshawn Davis wants to fight Teofimo Lopez. Guess what happened? 5 years ago, I knocked out his father. Not coming into game, he mentioned it. Not on the podium when he was reading the book next to him did he mention it. But the very next day, he even leaked it. The Core Stevenson leaked it. Man, listen. I'll be like, okay. They just, a lot of these things that they put together and gimmicks and stuff. Sometimes I look at this and I just be like, look, I understand the business side of it all. I understand that sometimes there's entertainment in this. There's it's good to have storylines. Sometimes it's good to have bad blood, but the best thing is when it's real and you could see it or you saw it unfold. You know what I mean? And you knew that they didn't have to sell it because shit, this is what happened. You know, like I don't know, say one of the fighters was in the club drunk. They actually have him videotape groping another fighter's wife, and she turns around, smacks him, and he grabs her boob or something. And she says, "You know who my husband is?" And he goes, "I don't give a fuck," right? And then, boom, oh, and they got to fight. And then he's like, "Yo, listen," and then boom. So, okay, you know what I mean, right? So then they build a fight, right? Well, what Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are doing is truly like a spectacle. It's different, right? Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney haven't even entered the ring yet. They haven't even finished, got in they fight. Ryan Garcia needs to focus on Devin Haney. That is his toughest fight to date. Okay, that's your guy right there. Instead, this Joker, right? He's all over social media saying, you know what? I'll beat Sugar Sean O'Malley in the UFC in a UFC fight. What the fuck are you doing, Ryan Garcia, man? Do you gotta answer every quote that every comment that somebody says to you? Do you gotta do you gotta pick your nose in every fight? Do you not ever just let some shit slide, bro, to focus on yourself? Right? Like every fucking thing they say about you, you feel, and I get it because this is the life that you put on social media. And this is what people really think fighters are about. Like you're supposed to be spontaneous and just like on the spot right there, just start fighting with everyone. Some people look at Ryan Garcia like that. And now they got him talking about a UFC champion, Sean O'Malley. Bro, if Sean O'Malley walks into Ryan Garcia in a nightclub tomorrow night, there might not be no Devin Haney fight. Yo, there might not be no Devin Haney fight. Sometimes some of these guys got to answer to some of this shit that they say. You can't just walk up to everybody and embrace everybody and say, yo, it's Hollywood, baby. I'm just saying that shit to make some sales and then break off. Some people are not going to go for that. They're not going to go for it. They're going to be like, I don't give a fuck. You're going to answer for it right here. And I'm about to make you a meme. And and the way he's saying it, I promise you, I'll whoop his ass in the UFC in the cage. Like, bro, do you really think that this kid, Sean O'Malley, dedicated his entire life to learning jujitsu, Muay Thai, grapple wrestling, striking? He developed that in like 15 years. And you're just gonna get up off your couch and become Bruce Lee like that. And I'm gonna buy that. You're not gonna be like a fish out of water on the ground on your back, Ryan. You're gonna know exactly how to scramble, how to pivot out your hips to the left, how to break the leg lock. You're gonna know how to do all that. You're gonna know how to survive a choke automatically just because you know what I say so. You're gonna know how to break that grip. You're gonna know which way to turn, not to turn into the lock, but to turn out of the lock, not to turn into danger. You're gonna know how to do all that. Yo, just because he says it doesn't make it so. Ryan Garcia, bro, yo, this kid is gonna get a rude awakening. He doesn't have to come out all the time and address every fucking thing, bro. Learn to pick your battles, son. Learn when to put your nose into business, when not to. Son, you have an opportunity to really upset the cart right now, Ryan Garcia. But what if he pulls up the upset and he catches Devin Haney, bro, with that check hook? Even though Devin Haney knows, the world knows about his check hook. And I'm telling you right now, that is one of the one things that Devin Haney is just check hook block, check hook block, check hook block. That's all Devin Haney's doing. Check hook block. Check because he ain't got really nothing else for you. And a jab. Parry the jab, check hook block. Parry the jab. And make sure that you notice that his head's straight in the air. It's gonna go check hook, block, parry, hook. Check hook, block, parry, hook. Right? But there's a possibility that Ryan's speed could be faster than Devin Haney anticipated or anybody he ever came in corner with, right? And what if he's like, he just gets caught? Boom. And then all of a sudden we see fucking Devin Haney's legs just do a chicken dance. And I'm just like, oh my God. Yo, we've seen in fights that they took you out of your seat, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, I was fucking shocked when I saw Buster Douglas just cocking back that two-piece on Mike. And his jaw was just cocking back like I was out of my mind, bro. Right? So anything can happen. Anything can fucking happen. I've seen some of the biggest upsets, right? And it's usually with a guy we don't really know much about. Sometimes the guy get called in on 10 days notice or some dumb shit like that. And you didn't have time to prepare for him. And he's a relatively unknown. And those are the guys that usually play spoiler, right? And he come in and just rock your favorite fighter and walk off with his belt like it's his. What it is his now? You know what I mean? Right? So, look, Ryan has big opportunity here. Here's his moment. He's never fought for a world title. It's right in front of him. Let's take this serious, kid. Yo, John O'Malley's not even in your sport. He shouldn't even be in your fucking name, bro. That word shouldn't be coming out of your mouth. Look, you might take a little criticism. Just step off TikTok, YouTube, all that stupid shit, whatever you're doing, IG. Ryan, just stop. And fucking, eat, sleep, shit, boxing, bro. If you're not talking to me about boxing, if you're not pumping me in the right direction, like pushing me in and telling me, yo, you know what? It's 1 a.m. Throw on your sneakers. Let's go jog. Let's go hit the pool. You know what I mean? Just Ryan, give it. If he was to really commit himself, it's that every time I see Ryan, it's either Ryan walking and meeting up with this dude. He's got his little leather jacket on. He looks like he's about to hit the club. I mean, he just looks like everything they say he is. The Canelo camp, same thing. Derek James seems to have a little grip on him, but you can only have control when he shows up. When he's away from you, that man's doing whatever he wants. So hey, it is what it is. But another couple fighters that I really got my eye on because I saw some good performances and I got to, show him some love on my channel, which is Jesse Bam Rodriguez, right? And he fought Sonny Edwards. Okay. Now Bam is um um gonna move up, I think, right? Okay. Now, look, if Sonny Edwards stays where he's at, he'll be champion again. I think so. I think if Sonny Edwards stays where he's at, he'll be champion. But I want Bam Rodriguez to keep moving up, right? Because although I know that Naoya Inoue is moving up, maybe he might stay somewhere for a little while. And perhaps he might shock all of us and not move up to 126 and take an additional fight at 122, which can give Bam a little bit more time. I like Bam a lot. I like him a lot. And I think that he has enough smarts, enough punchings in his arsenal, that I really wish. But realistically, I don't think he's going to catch the Japanese superstar, but I like him. I like it a lot. And if it was ever possible for me to watch a fight, I was thinking about further opponents, that people that would challenge him. Tank Davis obviously being one of them. But I was really sitting down and really fantasizing about the fact of Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Um Maybe he might be too small at 5'4". Maybe Bam really doesn't have the height that can carry the weight, you know. Esau Pitbull Cruz is 5'4", and he's fighting Rolly. And he's moving up in weight more. He looks a little too fat for me in that fight. I would like to say that Esau Pitbull Cruz wins this Rolly fight, but I'm a little concerned with his weight, being the fact that he looked sluggish in his last performance. He didn't look that fast like that Esau Pitbull Cruz that fought Tank Davis. Now they're gonna blimp him up a little bit and put him in against a young, strong Rolly. Um, Look, Rolly is a bully. He has that bully kind of mentality, right? And he's somewhat of a dirty fighter. Okay, Esau Pitbull Cruz will get down and dirty too, as you can see. All right, but I believe after the sixth, seventh round, if Rolly's still around, it might be Rolly's fight. After that, it might be Rolly's fight. Okay, um, even though it's small. I believe Rolly's getting better, but it's just real small things, and he's been in there with some really high guys lately. So, and the old man has proved, he proved, just because he was old, he showed that's two young boys. All right. So the old man, crafty veteran, knows how to hit and has power. So that goes to show. So Rolly was, he had reason to have concern in that fight. Then this man was a dog, right? Okay, not like a real huge one, but in Rolly's world, he is okay. So let's just leave it like that, right? Okay. So Rolly has a chance of beating Esau People Cruz, man, and I think he just might. I think he just might. Esau Pitbull Cruz thinks he's going to go in there, and he's like, I got this belt. This is mine. I'm going to go in there, and I'm just going to let it all go in the first 2, 3 rounds. And I think Rolly might be able to weather that storm. I think he's big enough. I think he's strong enough. And if Esau Pitbull Cruz is not careful and he doesn't pace himself right, Rolly can pull an upset in this fight. So yeah. So that that's a good point. Let me see what you guys are saying here. What's up, Aaron? Junto Nakatani. Yeah. Akuma Inoue also got a nice win this weekend. Yes, I had it on my channel. I believe it's the second from this one, the second live stream down. It has a picture of him. We sat down and we watched the fight together. It was a good fight. I was a little worried for him in some moments in the fight. I wasn't sure if going in on the inside with a strong fighter like him, right? If it was a good idea. And it ended up paying off. You can see in the corner with his father Shingo. He he was look, I want you to, no, I don't, like the guy said, man, I say it all the time. Might not speak Japanese, but I speak boxing. And I could see where that his father was telling him, I would like you to do this. Obviously he wasn't doing something right, and he wanted him to make adjustments in the fight. Uh, and look, this fight right here, secretly, right? Like a lot of people are not talking about it, right? But it does put up Takuma's knockout ratio just a little bit further up. Him not having so many knockouts on his record, right? He scored a knockout. So that was good for his record to show other guys that want to challenge him. You know, no, now he's starting to hit with pop. If he can put a couple of knockouts, a couple of knockouts together, and it also make his record look a lot better. And being the fact we all know who his brother is, you know, I'm not gonna say that sucks because I would be proud that for him to be my brother, bro. I would be fucking proud. Okay. I know that I would get somewhat looked at like, yo, why you ain't like your brother knocking everybody out? Right? But at the same sense, he's his own man. His brother's his brother. Hey, how cool's his brother, Naoya Inoue, right? When he Takuma's coming out for his fight, who's holding his belt? Fucking that's brother love right there. He doesn't think he's bigger. Like I'm too good to hold your belt, one belt, or what do you think? I'm a bellboy. I'm gonna walk you out. I'll be right here in the thing. No, he said I will be honored, my brother, to hold your belt, and he hold his belt, came, brought it, walked his brother out, yeah, kept that belt up there like this. That's right. That's a little bro right there. You know, family was there support. That's great. That's awesome. I love that. know, I never saw I don't think I ever saw Jamal Charlo walk out his brother and hold his belts for him. He was already in the audience all the time. I never saw any of the other brothers really. There's been a couple of brothers I think that one brother held it for other. I think maybe, but I never saw the Charlo twins do it, and that's great, man. This dude's a fucking megastar. He's got a fight on the horizon. He's in the middle of camp. But your coach is right there anyway, right? You might as well go to the fight, right? So that's convenient. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I like that right there. I really liked it that moment. I was like, yeah, man, that's what's up, bro. Big bros holding your belt, like, you know, and having them there in your corner, egging you on and giving you that when times are getting tough in a fight, And I did notice in some of the rounds, Takuma would look over like that and he would look at his brother. I know he was paying attention to the instructions his father was giving him, but there's nothing like to look back and your brother's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Boom. Or he telling you certain things, you know. And then so one of the strategies that Takuma was employing too is a strategy in boxing where that you put your head or your chest on a boxer and you make him push you off, right? That's gonna get his arms tired from him having to push. And that's why he kept going in on him. When he started giving him that body work, I would say around he gave it to it at like the third round. He let off him in the fourth, and then he went back to the body again, and then he set him up for those two vicious body shots. And it was good night, Irene, you know? So that was great. But look, Japan got their first WBO, first man in boxing history. It's not, let's just clarify this. It's not the first man in Japan to do this. No, this is the first boxer in boxing history among all boxers around the world. He's the first person to ever successfully win a WBO title in four separate weight divisions. I mean, it's not like there's been men that did the WBO, IBF, and WBC, but it was just that he did it with one organization. He stood true to the game and he used that to go up. It shows other fighters that are, if you're that kind of champion and that's the direction that you want to go with, the two belts I would always go after immediately is the WBO and the IBF because the IBF don't fuck around. They don't mess around. Um, if you go into their ranking system and they put you in the rankings, they kind of they look out for the little guy. If just in case you don't got a big promotional company, long as you're winning the fights you need to win, you'll get a shot with the IBF. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Good fucking luck with the WBC. Unless you don't got big backing and you're kind of like popular and you know somebody that knows somebody's uncle that was a world champion and they can slide you in the rankings because the fucking line for the men and women that want to fight for that belt is fucking around the corner, down the street. It's a big line. It's a really big line. And then the WBA is, of course, the first belt ever made in boxing. Without that belt, none of these belts exist. How about that? Without that belt started everything. So, um, what was a dope sight to see? Let me back up and read some of these. What's up, guys? Yo, my man, hey, what up, baby? Y'all in the building. Oh, Shiznick. My sound effects are off. They are not computing today. That is messed up. What's up, guys? Wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all gotta read these X's right here. Oh, oh, that's okay. Here we go. Only boxer who got a chance in MMA is Bud. Of course! That you yo, all right, you know that, right? You know that, right? Clarissa Shields. They got experienced boxer that has been training over facts and pull the upset on Devin Haney. That would biggest oh yeah, it would. What's up, Rob? Checking in down there in Florida, huh? Well, look at this, guys. The only thing that separates mixed martial arts and boxing is the matter of opinion. What kind of man are you? Are you the kind of man that believes that a man shouldn't be held by just his hands? That he should be able to utilize every body part? What is your definition of your style of fight? And what do you favor? Are you the type of man that says, don't kick me, pull hair, or choke? Be a man, stand on your own 2 feet. Let's use just these. Beat me right here. Don't wrestle me down and grab my ass. All right? Grab ass and shit. Let's stand like 2 men and let's go 5 strong to the mustache. Let me see what you about. Or you're like, bro, I can't fight strong fights to the mustache, but I will wrestle your ass down and choke you out. Right? So what kind of man are you? And that just comes to a matter of opinion. Some men utilize a sport being more sacred this way, and others view it being more sacred that way. Either way, you're still a warrior. Doesn't take one from the other. His question was, um, there are some men in boxing that you do not know their background. Just because he's a boxer, there's a lot of boxers in boxing today, in fact, that have mixed martial backgrounds and didn't want to blow out their shins and do everything that they said, man, I got a good stand up. I might be able to do a good career in boxing rather than snapping my ankle or my leg or something. And this, let me take this route. So you don't know what these boxers' backgrounds are because fact, Terrence Crawford is like a Division 1 or whatever wrestler. He was the real deal. And Terrence Crawford, like, wrestled and got medals in wrestling. Terrence Crawford will wrestle you down and choke you the fuck out like legit. Like he'll know all the locks. He'll know what to do, where to shift. Like he has real wrestling experience at like college levels and all that shit. Like he did it, okay? And plus he's a phenomenal athlete. He's not just like that boxer that you see him there. He's outside trying to throw a basketball and he looks awkward. No, Terrence Crawford just might dunk on your ass, right? And I might be exaggerating there, but he's good. I've never seen him dunk, but he's nice. And I've seen him play ball. Um, and he can play baseball, football. He's just real athletic. So that's what he's basically saying that, just because you're a UFC fighter and you see a boxer, listen, a boxer, you might be a UFC fighter and you're like, man, this guy just got to stand up, right? That boxer shifts his feet, steps back, and all of a sudden you go to reach in and you notice, wait a minute, he's not there. And you're out there in deep space and your jaw's just going like this and you're trying to grab and he just snipes you like that, right? And the next thing you know, don't be that guy. It can go either way for either side. These men are fighters. And like we all know, when you're fighting in the ring and you're fighting in the UFC, you have a referee and there's rules. Out in the street, there might not be no rules, you know? But what I'm saying basically, honestly, is like people like Ryan, stay in your lane, stay in your fight. That's all. Why are you calling this dude out, Sean O'Malley? Sean O'Malley got his own problems right now. He's about to go fight the dude, the only dude, in fact, that beat him. Now I seen the fight. I know about the kick behind the knee. I seen his foot die, like legitimately. I seen it roll 2 or 3 times in the ring. He hit the nerve right behind the knee. You know what I mean? So, like, Sean O'Malley got his own problems, man. And I'm just saying, you know, Ryan Garcia, just keep it boxing, baby. Keep it boxing. You got a big fight in front of you. And this Devin Haney fight, man. Listen, Ryan Garcia has no fucking clue right now how big that upset would be. Oh my God. If he upset fucking young Devin Haney, I would shit my pants. Listen, he would take Devin Haney's belt, take his O. Oh my God, all the criticism Devin Haney would take. Devin Haney would sacrifice his first child for the rematch. Yo, he would want to eat him because he knows he's that much better. It would have to be some lucky punch, you know? And oh my God, Devin Haney would lose his mind. I would lose my mind. There would have to be an immediate rematch, and it would be for so much money. Ryan Garcia, you would not hear the end of it. Yo, he'd be on social media. He'd go from a man that once said belts don't matter to probably never taking the belt off into the leading into the match. Yo, he'd be everywhere with that motherfucker. Yo, that would be insane. That would be insane on so many levels. If he pulled that fucking kind of upset, it would be tremendous. But I don't think he's gonna do it. And other people that are, taking boxing, and I get it. You're trying to promote a fight. Well, when Teofimo Lopez starts saying things like Puerto Rican fighters are the easiest fighters to beat, and that if you put one in front of me, I'll destroy him. Yo, Subriel Matias is on that ass, homeboy. And you and Keyshawn Davis can play this little side thing about Keyshawn wanting to fight you in your next fight out there in Honduras. Check this out, my man, right? Look, Subriel Matias does want to do his first fight with Matchroom Boxing in Puerto Rico. They asked him, why didn't you do it in the Spanish Parade in New York and put it in Madison Square Garden? And he said, even though that would be cool, being in the homeland would be better for him to, fight. Now, I get what Subriel wants to do. I get it. You know, bringing a fight back to Puerto Rico, well, that's big, right? That's big. But if Tio is serious, he wants to fight in Honduras, do you guys think that Subriel should go out to Honduras and fight him? Now, before you answer this question and anybody types anything, I want you to think about this, right? Going out to enemy's territory, the judging, the ref, that these people are putting this fight together so that Honduras people can be happy and celebrate that night. Okay? You're fighting the odds. So, can Matias believe enough in himself where he's like, we're not going to need the judges? We're not going to need that referee. We ain't going to need any of that shit. I'm going to take all that away. Do exactly what Subriel Matias said he's going to do. He said he's going to retire Teofimo Lopez. He's not going to beat him. He's going to retire him. He's going to give him such a beating, right, that he's going to retire after that beating. Okay? So if Teofimo Lopez fights whoever he can get to fight him in Honduras, because not a lot of people are going to sign up to that setup. Everybody sees what's going on. Here goes Tio coming off another lackluster performance. Guess what happens in his next performance? Right? Okay. So getting someone to go out there, maybe not so much. But perhaps if Tio fights his fight, Subriel fights his guy in Puerto Rico, and they can meet at a later date in the middle somewhere. Maybe they can fight in Las Vegas or in New York City, Madison Square Garden. Teofimo loves to fight in Madison Square Garden when he used to fight there with Top Rank all the time. So New York City, Subriel Matias, the Boricuas out there. Come on, bro. You will sell that fight. Tio being from New York, yeah, you can sell out the Garden. You with them two dudes, yeah, you can sell out the Garden. And with everything that going behind it, that would be a great fight. But will Tio fight him? Because remember, the only way a champion can fight another champion is that both champions have to agree. When you're not getting the fight, is because one champion is not agreeing to fight. Because you're not ranked under that champion's ranking system. You're already a champion and one of the alphabets, major out, you know what I mean? So if you're the IBF champion, you can't force the WBO champion to fight you. He has to say yes. Yes, I'll fight you. I want to unify. And both guys say, yeah, I can beat you, I beat you. And they go and fight for the belt. But if this guy says, nope, nope, I don't want to fight, you ain't gotta fight. And that's might happen. Teofimo Lopez might not want to fight Subriel Matias. No. Although his mouth says otherwise, I don't think he really wants that smoke. I really don't. Because if you really wanted that smoke, you would have tried to push. Look at after the fact that you couldn't sell out with Jamie Ortiz, right? You need a big fight. You already had a great storyline. Why are you playing around like you need an opponent? Why? If you're so confident that you'll beat any Puerto Rican man, hey, go fight Subriel in Puerto Rico. If you're so confident and you're saying, oh, why don't you come to Hades? Why don't you go to Puerto Rico? I don't know. Or why don't both of you drop the Hades one, Subriel, you tell Puerto Rico, wait for me for one more fight, and you guys schedule it for New York in the parade. You both got your Latin people in Latin festival, right? Because it's not the Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? It's all Latins come together a lot. It's the Puerto Rican festival, yes, but they all come together. So he'll have his people and they can sell out the Garden. You can do that. That's if they really wanted to fight each other. That's if Tio really wanted that smoke, he would sign up to that. And then that's how you can tell the fighters really want to fight each other. Because uh look, in some cases, right, fighting in your hometown would be more profitable. Okay. Case in point, Stephen Kubo Fulton went to Japan to fight Naoya Inoue. Why? When he had both belts. Why, if you're the WBC champion and the WBO champion at 122, and the guy that's moving up doesn't have any belts? But why are you going to his home country to fight him? Why isn't he coming out here? Why? Because he's selling out arenas in Japan. Stephen Kubo Fulton ain't selling out those arenas in America. He needed him. And in some cases, go fighting in your hometown, if you were already established like that for ticket sales, there's no way they would have made that Stephen Kubo Fulton fight with Naoya Inoue in anywhere in the United States of America, and it would have sold out anywhere like that in Japan. No, it wouldn't have. And the people were just starting to, some people were just starting to come to know who the hell he was. And off of the performance that he did to Stephen Kubo Fulton, that he start to a lot of like American, the Western side started to really recognize and started to see what he was. Then after the Tapales fight, so you got to keep it in mind that most fight fans are just starting to recognize who he is, but yet he's selling out arenas in Japan. Where are you gonna have the fight? Japan. You're gonna get paid the most money. See? But Teofimo Lopez was not born in Honduras. Teofimo Lopez is not like he was born in Brooklyn. Like he is like, could say represent or whatever, but I don't know if they would back him like a Conor McGregor, like the crazy Irish dudes, or like the Mexicans back of Saul Canelo Alvarez. I haven't seen that firsthand. And back Tio like that. See? So, but I know one thing for sure. Subriel Matias can sell out almost anywhere. Yes, he's on fire right now. And the real boxing world and the Boricuas are going to support him. He's got the backing from the Puerto Ricans. Have you seen all of his fights? Did you see the one with Ponce? Yo, that was a great fight right there. Yo, that place was packed. That place was packed. They came to show their support. Wherever that man goes, they're going to go. And they Puerto Ricans, they got money too, and they be traveling. They're gonna go watch him. Yes, they are. So he has his following. He has his backing. While Teofimo Lopez is slowly declining. His last two fights, he didn't sell out. Just let's remember that. And Subriel Matias has sold out everywhere he's gone so far. So, I mean, look, he wasn't headlining some of the events, and you could say that maybe, whatever. But when he got in the ring, you know that they're there to see you when before the main event, the fucking crowd is already packed. And you already got it because if they like, there's those fights where it's only the main event. And the co-main event, you're looking out into the crowd, there's still empty seats. Then all of a sudden they go main event, they snap out, yo, the crowd is packed, right? They only came to see one fight. And it shows. It shows. But when Subriel was on the card, you looked out into the arena, they were there to see him. That place was packed. So I know he can do his thing. You know what I mean? And time will tell. Because, like I said, this year, be prepared to watch your favorite fighter lose, man. Let's answer some questions and let's see what you guys are talking about over here. Ah. Oh yeah, when he got the knockout, he was proud of his brother getting the knockout. Yeah, because he knows that, in the sport of boxing, okay, when you're a good fighter and you're real like, like a stop like what happened with Shakur Stevenson, right? Shakur Stevenson, a lot of people viewed him as running. And in a way, what he was doing, it took a lot of skill because Elwin couldn't hit him neither. Okay. But it's not a fan pleasing style of fighting. You understand? He might be really good, But that's not what we want to pay to see, right? Okay. So when the Japanese superstar saw his little brother gets a knockout, he knows that that's going to boost up his career because that's what people want to see. People want to see knockouts. We don't really want to see 12-round decision, some highly skilled shit, but you both leave and not one of you got even a black eye or a mark. We don't want that. So when you get knockouts, it's always good. And him is, and I'm pretty sure Big Bro's been going over some things with him, and come on, baby, you got to stick in there. And when you got him hurt, you can't let off of him. You got to get in there. And Takuma must hit hard. Let's just keep it in mind that these are professional boxers. Let's keep it in mind that the average dude in a fight with Takuma outside in the street, he'll knock him out like that. And like in a street corner, Takuma would be like a considered like the best fighter, like a god. He would wipe every street thug down and knockouts. But when he's fighting against these guys that have been getting punched in the face for over 10 plus years and are pros at that have conditioned their bodies to take a punch and be like, that's nothing. That's why they're pros. So at this level, knocking these guys out is not easy. And when you're starting to meet these guys at the higher rank divisions, let's just keep in mind that these are the best of the best that the division has to offer. These are the toughest of the toughest men's jaws that were able to sustain to meet me here for a world title fight. Let's just keep that in mind, okay? Because as you go up, it gets harder. So scoring a knockout on such a decorated IBF champion, he successfully defended his title 9 successful times. Okay, before losing it, moving up now to fight Takuma. Right, so beating that kind of champion was good. The way he beat him with the body shots, even better, even better. So it goes to show that little bro is coming along. He has to stay disciplined, has to stay focused on what dad's telling him in the corner. Believe in your training, believe in the process, um, believe in what his father's telling him and how he sees it. So yeah, good for him. And Big Bro was there to show his support, and that's just great. That he's not at a sense where he's like, I'm a two division four belt holder, they can be dudes like I don't got time to be at your fight. I'm this, I'm that. It happens, man. It happens. But to see the brotherly love passed down, that's amazing. That's amazing for me. And I love it. Like I said, I never seen Jamel Charlo do it. Give myself some love. Oh, I hope it does happen. It'd be like an action movie. Regular street fight versus boxer. Yeah. Yo, I'm trying to wipe everybody down because, you know, the street fighter he ain't gonna know what to do, you know? But that's what happens in boxing, and that's why you're a pro at that level. A lot of these guys are trained and know how to roll with a punch. Like Takuma was doing against that guy. And when we watched the breakdown in that fight, I was saying he does it really well. He rolls with the punch, and sometimes by you rolling with the punch, it can give the judges the wrong impression, like he's snapping your head back. But what he's actually doing is rolling with it, and not a lot of fighters can do that. It's really good that his understanding of it and the way he was doing it. It takes the power out of a lot of those shots. So he wasn't catching Takuma as flush as you would have liked him to be catching him. He did catch him. Don't get me wrong. It was a back and forth affair. Not like um Junto Nakatani, right? He shut that Mexican dude down. What the Mexican had were moments in the fight. He had a moment here, a moment there. That's all the Mexican had. Junto controlled the fight. He controlled the range. He utilized his shots, his movement. He broke him down the way he wanted to. That he did his entire fight plan. I believe they had him exactly where they wanted, and right when he started going straight down the pike, he found the shot and he put him away. Yeah, and I'm glad that the corner came in and saved him because lately I've been seeing a lack of corners coming to the aid of the fighter. Yeah, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've been seeing like, wow, that corner really didn't like their fighter. Like, I don't care. Hate me, be mad at me for a little while. You'll get over it. But I'm saving you a better fights in the future. Just the corner has to be able the reason why they're there and the referees there is to protect the fighter from himself. Sometimes there are men and women that are too tough for themselves. They don't know when to stop. And for some reason you can't turn them off, but they're a bloody mess, and you say to yourself, you know, how bad could this be on fighters and stuff? And you ever hear Roy Jones talk? You ever hear some of these guys talk and stuff, man? So all of them, man. Oh, and sometimes I hear Floyd, like he be stuttering, like duh, 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 He acts like he doesn't know what he's gonna say. He's like, right? I wonder, and he got hit like the less. And if that's happening to him, oh my God, bro, these guys are doomed, right? It's crazy. But look, fight fans, we have a lot of great fights. Over this past weekend, we had Andy Cruz, we had Junto Nakatoni, we had um, uh, um, Takuma Inoue. We had another Japanese fighter become the first man in boxing history to unify um, four WBO championships. And this is just the start of the year. We have a lot more boxing in front of us and about to kick off. We have the big heavyweights with Francis Ngannou and Joshua out there in the desert, and for if anybody else, um, you know, is gonna be tuning into that fight, I'm gonna be watching it. So I might just stream on that day. I get it. Some boxing fans are not really interested and others are, and I think that things have changed for Francis Ngannou up to now. I think his stock really rose and I think a lot of other people are on board. I heard what the criticism was in the first fight coming out and how a lot of people spoke up against him fighting against Tyson Fury. So I did read a lot of reactions on that. So hopefully now a lot, he might have won some fans over. I want to see it. So yeah. And then look, guys, who's Terrence Crawford gonna fight? You guys do notice that all this time is still going on, right? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Floyd does. Yeah. And sometimes I be seeing Floyd in interviews, and it's like mid sentence he forgets what he was talking about. And I see it, and I'm like, wait a minute, like he was the greatest at getting hit the less. And like he got that much damage still. Nevertheless, he's been in some wars. Yeah, he's been in some wars. He's been touched up a little, you know. Shane Mosley caught that jaw. Zab Judah, he has a handful, but damn, if that affects a man like that, look at like have you guys heard Magic Tarver talk? Who else was another one? The other day I was a little taken back by it. Um in fact, his condition was so bad that in the interview they only heard his audio. They wouldn't actually show him today in the interview. I gotta remember exactly who it was, but when I heard his voice, I knew it was him, but it broke my fucking heart because you could hear it in his speech. I was like, "Fuck, man," you know. Yeah, and it was a real popular, famous boxer. I remember, but sometimes the reason why I probably don't remember his name because those are the times like I just don't want to think about that in the sport. I'm just like, damn, because we all know, most of us anyway, know about it. We're around it. We experience in gyms when we're like going in and out of gym or sparring gyms and we run into the old guys. We see it. We see it. And we know what's going on. It's just like football with a lot of concussion protocols. A lot of linemen know, but you know they want to be great. They want to be mentioned among the great, and um, some men are willing to pay the price at the end. It was all worth it. I can't argue with them. I can't argue with because I do not know what it's like to win a real world title in a ring. I can't imagine what that moment is like. Perhaps I would trade it. Be like, I wasn't gonna do anything anyway that old, but PMI depends anyway. Fuck it. Let's trade. Right? Glory, right? But it's sometimes it doesn't always work like that. So but anyway, listen, fight fans. Uh yes, we have some great boxing coming off and there will be a lot of Francis fight one. Yep. I'll be right here with you, all right. We'll be tuning in together, brother. Yeah, man. That's him. That's him. Like, all right, you got him. Yeah, man. That's all right. You, yo, you figured it out. Hitman Hearn. That's who I heard the other day talk. Tommy the Hitman Hearn. And it broke my heart, bro. Bro, that's the fighter I'm thinking about. Yeah, and I couldn't remember who it was. It was Hitman. Yes. Yeah, man. He's bad. Yeah. That shit fucked me up, bro. Ah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mike was the hammer. Mike Tyson was the hammer all the time. Mike is very seldom ever took shots. That's why Mike is still Mike. Mike didn't go 12 rounds, bro. Mike 1 round, 35 seconds. Go, go. Mike, there was not if Mike got his ass whooped, you know, once or twice, you know, then he got his ass whooped legitimately once or twice. Mike didn't get his ass whooped in sparring. Mike didn't get his ass whooped in the ring. No, Mike got the equivalence of 3 or 4 ass whoopings. That's it. you know, Floyd Mayweather with Madonna and all them other dudes. He had him up against the rope. The fight with fucking who Oscar De La Hoya. He blocked a lot of those punches, but I'm here to tell you, if you have a box, you can block and your brain still rattles, bro. As you can see, the Japanese superstar knocked out Marlon Tapales right in his gloves, right through his guard. Boom. He blocked that punch and still dropped them. Those punches hurt. And remember when Floyd would get up on the rope and go like this and then look at his opponent and then go like that? They were bashing his head. When he fought Miguel Cotto, yo, Floyd came out of that fight with Miguel Cotto bubbled the fuck up. He was even reported in the back of the locker room, was like, yo, I need to retire. That motherfucker hit hard as shit. Right? Miguel Cotto did have 20 pounds on him, right? right? But yo, Floyd was bubbled. And so Floyd has been pieced up. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I see him in interviews. I'll be looking at him and I'll be like, Floyd be like, you know, whenever he gets lost, he goes, money team. He goes back, he reverts back to the money team. That's when you know he lost, right? He like, you know, because, you know, it's not about me. It's about the other fighters. the money team, you know, and but Floyd, the money team. Okay, yo, I'll be like, yo, Floyd, bro. I'll be like, what the fuck did he just say? Sometimes he don't be making sense, and that's that boxing, bro. That's what that shit is. He don't smoke weed. He don't do drugs. If Floyd did weed or coke or a fucking drink, then I could say maybe the drugs is catching up with him. And don't the toughest thing Floyd Mayweather does is drink a can of Coca Cola. That's about it. So yo, hey, yeah, man. Yeah, who knows what happened down later down the line. Nonito always speaks with him. It's Nonito's wife, nigga, that she's a hater on this dude. You should hear some of the shit. She hates this nigga, bro. Oh, Donito Donaire's wife, oh, she can't stand him. If you've never heard that lady talk about him, go check it out. Oh, she hate, but them as competitors, like him and Nonito Donaire, yeah, they fuck with each other, bro. Yeah. Yeah, they just in a competitive sport, and they duked it out. But after the fight, they'll go have lunch. It's nothing personal. I'm pretty sure if Nonito Donaire was to pull up with homeboy and was like, "Yo, you want to go out to dinner over here?" and he had time, he go hang out with him. I'm pretty sure he would. Yeah, but yeah, I hope it does end well for some of these boxers at the end of the career. But to the boxers, the men and women that are successful, George Foreman looked good for a long time. George Foreman was commentating for a long time, commercials, things like that. He really had it. So there's been some good ones, but to the fighters that like to stand in there and exchange in the inside and take a lot of unnecessary punches because you're just tough. With each punch, you may pay for that at the tail end of your career, and it's not gonna take there that night 10 years. It'll be something that'll happen throughout the course of time. And unfortunately, like the Hitman, when I did in fact get to hear him, I was like, man, Hitman, baby. Hitman, bro, he was something else, bro. That dude was like 22 years old when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard, bro. He was a baby, he was a kid, and he was in there with some heavy hitters, some big boys. He knocked out Duran and people like that. I mean, he really was like he was in there with them. It was really truly those four guys: Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Hagler, and it was just a real crazy time, man. And those were some real like Marvelous Hagler was a fucking beast, bro. But he was a man. He was in his 30s. Like he was like a full grown alpha when he fought Hitman Hearns. Hitman Hearns was a kid. He might have looked like he was a man. He was tall as fuck. He had the beard and the Jerry curl look. And he looked like, he'd been around again, but he was young. People failed to see his age in those fights. He was a baby when he fought Sugar Ray. Yeah, Sugar Ray was already established, you know? Yeah. Hell yeah, man. But fight fans, listen, guys. Um, let's hear. Oh yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, bingo. All right, you my man, bro. You be hitting them out too, just like motherfucking Sugar Shane wife. She a hater, just like No Nito Donaire's wife is a hater. Oh, she hates this man. Oh, you should hear some of the excuses this lady's come up with. Yo, bro, I just be like impressed. I be like, yo, Donaire gotta be like somewhat like, come on, babe, but she's like his manager and shit, just like Shane Mosley. She got his balls in her hand, I bet. Donaire's balls in her hand. Just like Mosley wife had his balls. Yep. Same scenario. Same scenario. You know, she was like one of her training coaches leading into one of his fights with him, his wife. Yeah. Oh, she's something else, bro. She hate him. Yeah. But yeah, man, fight fans, look, we have some great fights coming up. We've touched up on a lot of fights. We touched up on history, touched up on the four belt thing, and now we have this gentleman right here going into his highly anticipated matchup with Luis Pantera Nares, right? And look, I can't wait to see this fight. I really can't wait to see this fight because after every fight with the Japanese superstar, I kind of get a sense of what direction he's going into. Like, I believe the world, including myself, wants to see what his next move is because his next move is so crazy, right? Because depending on what he does, if he wants to enter the 126-pound weight division, that is five divisions we're talking about there. That's five divisions. And if he was to go after the WBO title, that would be three divisions he would have had that same belt in. Okay. So moving up to 126 would be so big because of the five divisions. Staying down at 122, one more fight. Um, although risky, because you have to keep it in mind, this is not just a regular fight at 122 pounds for him. No. With every fight he takes on at 122 pounds, he gives the opportunity to have one man write his way into the Hall of Fame, into the record book. He gives an opportunity for a man to come and get all four belts in one night. He makes it that easy for a man to become a four belt holder division. That's like hitting the sweepstakes, the lottery. And who wants to do that for someone else when it took you all that hard work to get it? This guy can come in on one night and do everything it took you almost a goddamn lifetime to pull together. You don't want to give nobody that opportunity. So every time he does stay at 122 pounds and he gives somebody an opportunity, he's putting all that on the line. So it's not no like small task. Everybody, you ever have that, like, okay, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, right? It'd be like this one guy, you're in the gym, and everybody in the gym beat him. Everybody in your corner, out of your, like, there's four of you, three of you, everybody beat this one guy. And next week, you come in the gym and you start to spar him, and this guy fights you like a gladiator. And you're like, yo, when I saw you sparring against this dude like this, I would have beat you then. Why is it that and it just be that fight. It'd be that one time that he just believes he can win. Something happens in the stars and you give him an opportunity, and all of a sudden this guy's a four belt holder when he should have never even had one belt. That's crazy, man. Like Rotman. When Rotman knocked out Lewis, he walked away with all his belts. Did Rotman really, was he that kind of champion to that have ever have all those belts? Without knocking out Lennox Lewis, he would have never been that kind of champion. Ever. When John Ruiz knocked out Anthony Joshua, he gave that Mexican dude all those belts in one night. That guy became fucking. No one knew who John Ruiz was before that Anthony Joshua fight. And if you're saying you did, you're fucking lying. No, you might have. But no, listen, you know, that's what that does for you. So every time he stays there at 122 pounds and he gives another fighter an opportunity, that's what he's doing, bro. He's giving these guys lottery fights, bro. But so that's why with this fight, every time he fights, it's so intriguing to see what's his next move. What's he gonna do now? Who's he gonna fight? You know, Raymond Ford keeps coming into mind. He has a big fight too coming up. Who could he fight up there? Yo, people, I just I think my dog has a gambling problem, Rob. Rob, yo, damn. I think my dog has a gambling problem. I'm not sure. I'm gonna show you what I mean. Jackie, you been to the track? Huh? What's this? What's the chain? What are you doing? Oh my God. He's hooked. He's hooked to the gambling. Look at my dog. Jax, over there at the dog track putting bets. Huh? Yeah. There he is. Where'd you get the chain from, buddy? Huh? Put this stack on Naoya Inoue, the Japanese guy? Last time? Right. I'll do it for you. Man. My Jackie, chill. Don't jump. Knock down the thing. All right, buddy. Yo. So my dog's hooked to the track. He's out there in Las Vegas putting down major bets. You know what I mean? Yo. All right, Jax. So anyway, fight fans, I got this thing right here that fucking dropped off. So now I'm gonna have to hold it. But anyway, so I'm gonna wrap up this show here at Round One Sports Talk. I can't wait for some of these big fights right now that'll be coming up. So I'm gonna close this video. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace. Jackie.